Today is May 30th, 2025, and across the United States right now, well, for the next few hours, stuff will begin to ramp up across the East Coast as we do have flooding over here, over in the Mid-Atlantic and to the Northeast, as well as the Southeast here. We could be seeing some severe thunderstorms today. We do have a tornado warning and a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings already. As well, we also have some heat advisories over here on the West Coast, and that's what we'll be talking about in today's weather video. For today, we do have an enhanced risk over here in the Carolinas and Georgia, as well as a slight risk that extends from Alabama and Georgia all the way up to Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So a lot of the East Coast over here could be experiencing some severe weather today. No threat for today. We do have a 5% chance over here, kind of in the mid-Atlantic over here, Virginia, North Carolina, Maryland, Delaware, southern New Jersey, and southwestern Pennsylvania. We could be seeing there's maybe a couple tornadoes possible. We also do have a very large 2% that covers from Georgia and Alabama through the Carolinas, through the Virginias, to Maryland, all the way up to central New Jersey. In health threat, we do have a 15% chance, again, mainly where that, 5% chance of the tornado risk is. We also have a 5% chance of hail over here in New Mexico and also Wisconsin. So multiple areas across the U.S. could be seeing some hail today. Threat is going to be the biggest threat, as we do have a 30% chance of damaging winds, as well as a larger 50% chance, again, kind of like across the mid-east coast here, as well as our two different areas in Wisconsin and Illinois, as well as New Mexico. We could be seeing some damaging winds too. Tomorrow, there's really no defined risk of like a slight risk specifically. However, we do have three different areas of marginal risk. We have one over here in the plains. Over in Florida, we have one. Even over here in the mid-Atlantic still, we could still see some severe thunderstorms. They could add a slight risk in either two of these regions, but they don't seem to be very sure about that yet. So obviously we're going to have to wait for time to do that to know who knows when a slight risk will happen. Day 3, it's kind of the same thing. We have a risk over here, near the 3 states of Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming. As well as over here near the Houston metro area, we could be seeing a marginal risk of severe weather too. Now for today, we do have a slight risk of flooding from eastern Kentucky all the way up into New York. So across the mid-Atlantic, we could be seeing that slight chance of flooding. Now, this is the NAM model for today, and we can see that rain is already kind of moving through the mid-Atlantic as I speak over here. A low will eventually kind of form over into Maryland and Pennsylvania, which will definitely ramp up that rain as we get into the Northeast. We could also have rain behind this as well. And then as that goes into the Northeast, it's kind of going to go off into Canada, off into the Atlantic. However, during this, we could, have some line of thunderstorms, right at the beginning of this that could be causing, damaging winds, hail, and even a couple of possible tornadoes. With precipitation totals, we could have areas over here, Pennsylvania, Maryland, up to 3 inches, not even out of the question. I mean, yeah, still a lot of over here is we could still see a good inch of rain over here across where any of this purple is. And even down here in the south over here, along the coast of North Carolina, we could still be seeing an inch or two of rain. And you can see how this correlates with our flooding threat, like this being kind of like this where I'm circling is like where our slight risk of flash flooding is. A triple R model is showing a similar case across, the mid-Atlantic region. It actually shows, it even thinks that we will see more rain over here in the Northeast. Across this little corridor here, along here, we could be seeing some rain. I mean, where I live, we could see 2 inches of rain according to this. I don't think we're going to see 2 inches of rain personally, but hey, it could still happen, all right? Now, using composite reflectivity, we could see that over the course, of up into the evening, is that those line of storms will be moving through a lot of the East Coast over here with, embedded damaging winds and hail and a couple of tornadoes possible with any of these discrete cells. This will be moving into the Northeast, and it's going to get less severe as it moves into the Northeast, probably because we're going to be losing a lot of that daytime energy. We could still have some storms behind this, though, so, more pockets of, severe weather are possible with this. However, they're not going to be as severe as the stuff that we see before, obviously, but still keep in mind about that. Now, for climate throughout the next week, most of the country will either be at average or above average for temperatures. We can see that really only around the Rocky Mountains and a little bit of the Pacific Northwest, we might be able to see, cooler than average temperatures. But really, anywhere else across the country, we're going to be seeing, above than average temperatures. Now, for precipitation, again, most of the country is going to probably be above average for this or near average. Kind of besides the West Coast, we're going to be seeing much more drier conditions. 1 to 2 weeks, the trend is still going with this little blob of cooler air kind of through the plains, and really anywhere else in the country, we're probably going to be seeing, above than average temperatures. Precipitation is not going to really be changing much besides maybe the West Coast experiencing a little bit more than drier than average, precipitation. And then for the rest of the country, we are going to be seeing that storm roll through, and then high pressure might be building in for the East Coast for a couple of days. And then as we continue, we might have a low form throughout the Rocky Mountains moving into the plains, bringing more rain and possible severe weather. We might even have another low that comes behind this to bring more of this stuff. And then so on, so we might even see a couple of more low pressure systems move through. And then a lot of the country, it probably is going to be a mess for quite a while, as this is out of data range still, but expect quite a bit of low pressure systems to develop within the next week or so. So that's gonna be it for the Hunt Weather video. If you guys want to make sure to like and subscribe. See you next video. So yeah, see you. Goodbye.